I can tell you that that's why I never taught band. So I thank you for coming, to all of you. Thank you for being here today. Every single one of these wonderful educators behind me who started out so early this morning. Wearing red today is an act of solidarity. Wearing red today is an act of resistance. And thank you all for joining together today as we fight for something that should never be up for debate: our kids' future. I stand here with our commitment to fairness, democracy, and high-quality public education for every single one of our kids in every single state in this country. Let's be clear. When you want to abolish the Department of Education, it's not just rhetoric. You're not just ripping a job away from somebody, which in itself is unimaginable. It's a direct attack on our students, on our teachers, and on our communities. If they succeed, they won't just dismantle a bureaucracy. They will decimate critical funding that millions of students rely on. Here's what it means in real terms. 26 million teachers will lose vital Title I services that help them reach their potential and grade level in school. 7.5 million students with disabilities will lose access to the support that is legally promised to them. 10 million working class students will see college slip further out of their reach as Pell Grants and loan assistance disappears. 12 million students will lose access to career and technical education, the very programs that are preparing them to be citizens in our country. We cannot let this happen. If they get their way, states and communities will be forced to either cut these important services or increase taxes on all of the citizens who are struggling to make ends meet now. Meanwhile, billionaires and corporations will get more tax breaks while our kids pay the price. We will not stand silent when something hurts our kids. We fight for public education, we fight for fairness, we fight for opportunity, we fight for our kids, and that's a fight that we are never going to back down from. I would like to introduce another fighter, somebody I've known for a long time, a career educator and a fierce advocate for every single student in this city and across the nation. I would like to introduce board member Josefina Dominguez.
I feel cradled by my peers, right? So yes, public education is under attack. What has been in the making for the last 50 years has come to a moment of truth, existence or absolute annihilation. Those who want to weaken and indeed destroy our public schools are working harder than ever. But resilient educators and parents and community leaders are not standing by quietly. Here we are. My mother came back to this country so that people like my fellow educators could help me, my brother, my sister, rise up and give back to this country 100-fold. And they are feeling fear, at the moment, and yet I know that our educators in the classroom are fighting hard in their behalf. We represent the safety net. Public schools are the safety net for our immigrant, refugee, and asylum seekers. We are fighting back, and we have friends in Washington, D.C. in this fight. New Mexicans know how to vote for institutions that support families, that support children, that put communities first. And that's why I'm proud to wear red for Ed today. Arriba la resistencia. Thank you.
And when our mayor is here to support us, what do we do? Mayor Keller, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And I see you have some red to support public ed. Come on up.
This is one of my favorites from back when we used to work together in the legislature. My special pin that I think you gave me. So, but listen, today we are here to fight back. That is clear, and it's about defending public education. I just want to share a few remarks on two fronts. One, as a dad. Two, as of course the mayor of our city. And I want to begin with, I think, a simple truth, which is that at the end of the day, we all say we need more teachers, we need more support staff, and that we have overcrowded classrooms, and that we should invest in mental and behavioral health. I hear everyone say that, all over New Mexico and all over America. And the simple truth is, cutting the Department of Education would actually be the opposite of doing all of those things. Yep. And so you can't have it both ways. You can't be out there saying we need to improve schools and then cut the Department of Education. So we're calling out the hypocrisy that's coming from Washington and coming from that president. And I also know that at any time, right, the suggestion of reducing funding for education is simply about something different. It is not a situation where you can say that, like, oh, both sides have a point, or we need to respect each other's opinion. It's actually just wrong. Right? There is nothing right about cutting funding for our kids and the people who teach them and take care of them. Now, I also know that, unfortunately, right, for so many years, and something that we've tried to fight against, and all of you all have done a good job of this in New Mexico, but compared to almost every other developed country in the world, we invest less in education and less in teacher pay and less in the number of teachers than, all of these other countries that our president is always making fun of. And yet here he comes trying to do the opposite here. So at the end of the day, we know that we've been playing catch up for decades already. That's also why this hurts so much. We cannot afford to lose a dollar for our kids. And in this city, too, the city, as many of you know, partners with APS on all sorts of things. So typically, before school and after school, the city's taking care of about a third of the kids in APS. And of course, during the summer as well. But a lot of that, especially also before they make it to your kindergarten classroom, the early childhood system. Albuquerque runs the largest early childhood system in the state of New Mexico, and it is all at risk if this funding is cut. So if you think for some reason you're a parent and your kids aren't in APS yet or whatever, let me tell you, you need that early childhood care. And if you are fortunate enough and you choose to be able to be home with your kids and not do early childhood, that's okay. But we need the kids who don't have that luxury to have somewhere to go and somewhere to learn. That is what we desperately need because of the drastic impacts that it has later, especially when kids get into the school system and get older. So I think, look, I will just close with this. I think at the end of the day, my kids go to public school. I'm late because I was at a soccer game for APS elementary school. And, you know, I was sitting there thinking about this, and I don't know what funding's tied to what. But, you know, the principal had to spray paint the field on the grass. The parents had to pay for the net. And obviously everyone's volunteering, and that is on top of all the other work that they do. And here we're trying to talk about, instead of supporting that, right, saying how can we help get more things for our kids in the classroom and after the classroom? How can we help hire more teachers? Instead, this president is trying to do the opposite. And so as a parent, right, you literally see right before you that it just means less for your kid. Straight up, no matter, it means less attention from a teacher because there's fewer teachers. It means less teachers because we don't have as good a compensation. It means less activities for them, or it means kids that are behind in the classroom because they didn't go through early childhood. This affects every parent in America, but also in Albuquerque. And I hope that if there's one thing we can agree on, no matter what our party is, or no matter whether we have kids or not, we're on the side of kids. That's what this is about. And that's what DC needs to hear. And that's why I'm grateful to be here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Mayor Keller. I have one more person who's just going to talk very briefly. We have wonderful partners in the community, and one of them is El Centro. And I just want to invite Rachel Lazar up here to just real quick talk about the importance of being partners in the fights that we're fighting for all of our kids. Rachel.
What a complete honor to be here. I want to introduce my coworker.
Hi, my name is Olga Santana, and I'm organizer with El Centro.
So, as you all know, El Centro de Igualdad y Derechos is an immigrant rights worker justice organization here in Albuquerque. And what an honor to be here with educators. I come from a family of educators. I was born here, raised here, graduated from public schools, and I've seen what we can do together. We are so incredibly proud that we passed our first immigrant-friendly policy in 2000 and cannot tell you how proud we have been working with Mayor Keller and working with all of you to ensure that Albuquerque remains an immigrant-friendly city, because immigrant-friendly is good for education. We need our young people to feel safe in their schools. And since this administration reversed sensitive locations memos, we have a community that no longer feels safe. And that does not reflect Albuquerque values. That does not reflect our collective values as New Mexicans. What is heartening is the incredible immigrant-led organizing that continues to go on in the state, and that we have worked together to ensure that Albuquerque remains immigrant-friendly. So thank you all. And I'll just end by saying we have affirmed that education in this country, regardless of our status, is a constitutional right. And we have worked hard to make that value, to live that value here in Albuquerque. And we were super proud that El Centro and partners and parents and students and you all also worked to pass APS's Safe School policies, and we're incredibly proud of that, and we look forward to continuing to work and organize mano a mano with you all to make sure that all Albuquerque students have the opportunity to thrive. So thank you so much for opening the space to us.
Students are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When public ed is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
You are amazing. The choir is amazing. Does the press have anything that they want to ask anybody before I let them rest and sit down before our teletown hall with Representative Melanie Stansberry, which you're welcome to stay for?
Sure.
Hi, my name is Monica. I'm a reporter with KOB4. So we, of course, knew that you guys had this day of action today, but then also we saw that President Trump is planning on addressing the nation. So what was kind of your first reaction when you saw that he's actually going to be speaking tonight? Later
I was really glad we were busy.
President Trump addresses anything having to do with education and the Department of Education. Will you guys be planning maybe another day of action, or what are your thoughts?
Well, our day of action was coordinated by our national organization, the American Federation of Teachers, AFT, and we are one of over 1,000 events going on countrywide, across the United States, I guess is a better way to say that. I have no doubt that what we have done by speaking out for public education and resisting what they are going to do, just letting them know that we are watching and that this is going to hurt our kids, is going to be one of many, many, many actions to follow from all kinds of different communities coming together to shout out against what's happening in such a draconian way. And I think we will have more to say as educators across the country soon.